regular season's winding down, and Fox Saturday Baseball's got all the playoff races covered. Detroit's in first, but for how long? Today, the Tigers are in Minnesota for a crucial game that could determine a power shift in the Central. While in St. Louis, can the Cards be the first team to punch their playoff ticket? Must be easy when you have Albert. And here in sunny SoCal, the NL West is playing out like a Hollywood screenplay. The first-place Dodgers hope to wipe out the Giants' wild-card dreams. Plus, it's lights, camera, and action as we get to know the Kung Fu Panda. That's all coming at you on Fox Saturday Baseball. Welcome to the Budweiser MLB pregame show on Fox. Budweiser, the great American lager. Well, just over 2 weeks to go in the regular season, a time when rivalries take on added importance. We have a few coming your way today on Fox, including the Battle of California as North meets South in L.A. And over here, Pablo Sandoval. Yeah, the Giants need plenty of help to crash the postseason party, but a second straight win against the Dodgers would point them in the right direction. But despite last night's loss, LA is still with a 5-game lead in the NL West. That's because Colorado lost last night at Arizona. So the Rockies' lead in the wild card is down to 2.5 over the Giants. Florida and Atlanta still breathing. And with that, hi everybody, we welcome you to Fox Saturday Baseball. It is all presented to you today by Budweiser. In just a few minutes, some of you are going to stay right here in LA. First pitch between the Giants and the Dodgers. But most of you are headed to St. Louis. That's where Matt Holliday hit a walk-off homer against D. Lee and the Cubbies last night. A win by the Cards, and their magic number is down to 4. Well, over in the American League, the best race is in the AL Central, where the Twins are within 3 of the Tigers for the first time since August 4th. Meanwhile, Boston has stretched its legs in the wild card standings. So a huge matchup in the Dome, where the league's leading hitter Joe Mauer takes on the strikeout artist Justin Verlander. Tigers just 1-6 this year in Minnesota. Now, back here in L.A., Pablo Sandoval making big news because of his big hits all season long. Let's get to know the budding superstar a little bit better. All right, Pablo, so last year you hopped over a Dodgers catcher. The next day, your teammate Barry Zito starts calling you Kung Fu Panda. You like the nickname?
I love it.
Hold this up in front of your face. Let's see how this does it. How's that feel for you?
Good.
Keep holding it up and look.
Yeah, I feel good.
I like that look for you, brother. But, you know, we saw you earlier this year kind of trip in between second and third base. That wasn't very Kung Fu Panda of you. Do you remember what happened here?
Yes, I remember that.
Did your teammates let you have it there?
They started laughing about that situation.
Is it true you can throw the ball with both hands?
Yes.
See, I think that Bruce Bochy should put you in the bullpen.
Yeah, I just I'm available for do that.
So you could bring it a little bit.
Yeah.
You can bring the heat if you were a pitcher?
Yeah.
What is your favorite sport outside of baseball?
Basketball.
Who's your favorite player?
LeBron James. Watch Michael Jordan, but Michael Jordan doesn't play. Gotta be like LeBron James.
What about NFL? Have you been to an NFL game?
No.
I think what you should do in the offseason, go to a Raiders game and sit in the black hole.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. In Oakland, they don't like the San Francisco guys.
I think, though, if you went to the Raiders game, put the panda mask up. See, now, how good, could you say go Raiders with that thing on?
No. No. I want to be here next season.
What a great, great kid, the future face of baseball, undoubtedly. Now, maybe the Giants will make the playoffs for the first time since 2003. And speaking of the postseason party, you can only see the ALCS right here on Fox, Game 1 Friday, October 16th. Maybe you'll see some magic like you did in 04, Game 6. The Sox and the Bloody Sock of Curt Schilling making headlines with 7 strong. They would win this game and Game 7, propel themselves to their first World Championship in 86 years. So the magic continues on Fox. But first, a sweaty Pablo stepping into the box here in L.A. Some of you are off to St. Louis and others Minnesota. First pitch is next.
Fox Saturday Baseball from St. Louis, Missouri this afternoon. The 2 longtime rivals have at it with the division all but wrapped up for the home team. The Cardinals host the Cubs, and we are glad to have you with us on Fox today. Along with Mark Grace, I'm Josh Lewin. Well, eventually we'll talk about Albert Pujols. Everybody always talks Albert Pujols in St. Louis, but got to talk some pitching today, too.
Well, and Tony La Russa has 3 of the better starters in all the National League. We're going to get to see one of them today, Josh, and that's Chris Carpenter. He already has some hardware on his mantle from '05, and I think he's got a big chance to win that award here again today, or again this year.
Well, yeah, the Cardinals going forward, and they are going forward. The pitching, the defense, these are important commodities to have. And the Cardinals and the Cubs, they've played each other 2,239 times in the regular season. Suffice to say, there's some history here. Great names, great games, good times. Cardinal fans and Cub fans mix and mingle this afternoon. First pitch is next on Fox. Back in July, it looked like the NL West would be a runaway, and the Central would be a fight to the finish. Well, strike that, reverse it. You got a great race going in the West right now. The Cardinals have all but absolutely sewed it up here in the NL Central. They're taking on the Chicago Cubs today. They were thought to be the favorites at the start of 2009. And here's our lineup brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. Ryan Theriot, Kosuke Fukudome, Derek Lee. We'll talk a lot about Derek Lee today. He's been outstanding since the beginning of July. Aramis Ramirez and Michael Hofftower instead of Milton Bradley. Bradley a late scratch, just can't get right with that knee. Giovanni Soto, Jeff Baker, Bobby Scales, and the pitcher Ryan Dempster. And we will check out Chris Carpenter, who is, well, a Cy Young possibility in 2009. No doubt about it. Our sprint pitcher profile coming right here.
Well, Chris Carpenter is a guy that just year in and year out you expect greatness from him, and he's got a fastball in the low to mid 90s, but he's got a Darryl Kyle curveball, the late great Darryl Kyle, one of the best curveballs in all the game. And he's also coming off his worst start of the year, his last start against the Braves, giving up 7 earned runs. So you know he wants to take the baseball. He's been waiting for 5 days to get the baseball again. And in my opinion, Josh, I think he is right now the front runner for the NL Cy Young this year.
Well, I will be happy to debate you on that topic going forward. Thanks for that sprint pitcher profile. And now we invite you to reach for the perfect combination of flavor and refreshment, Budweiser, the great American lager. There is no doubt that Chris Carpenter is in the discussion. 16-4, a 2.45 ERA. Are you so quick to dismiss Tim Lincecum?
Well, it's not that I'm dismissing Tim Lincecum. He's having a fabulous year out in San Francisco, and he's also the reigning Cy Young Award winner. I just think at the end of the day, this kid has done more, and that is Chris Carpenter has done more for his ball club and their championship caliber than maybe even Tim Lincecum has done out in San Francisco.
Ryan Theriot takes the first one up and in. That is Mark Carlson calling balls and strikes today. He's a Southside Chicago guy, Joliet, Illinois, matter of fact. Carpenter, the old maxim, work quick, throw strikes. He's all over that.
And that's why he's going to get great defense behind him every time he takes the mound. He rarely leaves the dirt of the mound. Just give me a sign and let me throw it.
He's got the highest career winning percentage in Cardinal history. And considering, Gracie, this team's been around for 118 years, that's saying something. He's won 74% of his decisions. And he finds the outside corner here, 2-2.
And there you go, a mid-90s fastball at 95 miles an hour right on the outside corner. That's unhittable.
That's the company he keeps. Fastball runs off the plate, according to Mr. Carlson.
Tried to get Theriot to chase that pitch just off the corner that time. Theriot nice and patient, let it pass. Now it's a full count.
And the walk to Theriot to begin the ball game. Let's introduce you to the Cardinals defense. Matt Holliday has been such an important piece of the puzzle since coming over from the Oakland A's. Mark DeRosa, same deal, coming from the American League. Yadier Molina's been the Iron Man catcher. Nobody's caught more innings than Yadier Molina in the majors this year. Fukudome's only had a couple years here in the big leagues, Gracie, but so far September has been the cruelest month for him by far.
He struggled last year, really the entire second half. He was replaced in the starting lineup. Lou just couldn't go with him because he was struggling so badly last year.
Cubs have a lot of problems, obviously, here in 09. Fukudome is way down on the list. The fact that he's kind of sagging in September. The Cubs organizationally have been in sag mode pretty much all year. It's been a very big disappointment.
Well, I think so. I mean, this team has got such a high payroll and such high expectations. And if you had told Cub fans and the Cub brass that they'd be 10 back today, well, you'd have to consider that a huge disappointment this year in Chicago.
Yeah, it's funny, Gracie, back in April or even May, had you surmised that this always anticipated Cubs-Cardinals September series would be a contender against an also-ran? You probably would have figured the Cubs would be the contender, the Cardinals would be just one of the also-rans, along with the Astros and the Brewers and whoever else.
Yeah, the first couple of months of the season, it was a struggle for these Cardinals. But certainly not anymore. Tony La Russa and his staff have really got these Cardinals playing championship baseball. And there's no way Tony La Russa is going to let this club go into cruise control mode. They're trying to get home field advantage throughout the National League playoffs.
Breaking ball got him. And Chris Carpenter's last inning, that one that he had against the Atlanta Braves a few days ago, went so poorly. Probably a nice thing for him to be able to come on out and strike out Fukudome almost right away.
Exactly. That was the Darryl Kyle type curveball right there. He brought it right back to the outside corner and just froze Fukudome.
And again, as the Cubs have struggled, this guy has not been the issue. Derek Lee heading right behind second base. Schumacher got it. Double play. The scissor step helping Chris Carpenter get out of the inning. There's no score. Tony La Russa has more wins than any active manager in baseball today. His Cardinals are sitting pretty with 86 wins already. The starting lineup for Tony brought to you by Taco Bell. Think outside the bunch. Schumacher, who just made that great play at second base. Then Rasmus Pujols and Holiday. Ludwig DeRosa and Molina, Brendan Ryan, and the pitcher Chris Carpenter. And we will scout out Ryan Dempster, who's got 10 wins, 8 losses, coming off a very solid start. 8 innings of 4-hit shutout baseball against Milwaukee. Outstanding pitching matchup today with Carpenter going against Dempster. We'll let Mark Grace give you some more info on Dempster here. Our sprint pitcher profile for a 32-year-old right-hander.
No, Ryan Dempster's a guy that's got 3 good pitches: the fastball, the slider, and the changeup. See the control or chaos there as that was ripped down the right field line for extra base.
Well, it's been a big first inning for Mr. Schumacher, huh? That beautifully turned double play, and now just a double instead of a double play.
Well, Schumacher's been such a pleasant surprise for Tony La Russa. He gets a cut fastball, and he just rips it right by Derek Lee, having to play close to the plate because of the threat of the bunt with the speed of Schumacher, and he just rifles it down the right field line, and just like that, here come the Cardinals.
All right, I don't want to leave you hanging, son. Control or chaos? Well, you've been watching Maxwell Smart?
Well, you know what? That's a show I grew up with, and no, we're not going to break out 99 or 86 or Chief or Siegfried, but in order for Ryan Dempster to be Ryan Dempster, and that is the quality pitcher he is, he's got to have good control. He cannot walk people. If he walks people, it'll be like these Cub fans saw in the playoffs last year. He'll put a lot of people on base and give up the hits and have bad outings. That's the chaos. He's got to stay under control, throw strikes. If he does, he'll be just fine this afternoon.
And would you believe win number 11? At that point.
I like that.
What was the other one? Sleight of hand. What's that?
Sleight of hand? Well, he's an accomplished magician. Did you know that about Ryan Dempster?
I do now.
He is a fabulous magician. He can entertain all the players, or he can even come to your home if you want.
Weddings and bar mitzvahs too? Well, he's going to hold the ball here after grabbing it out of the air from Colby Rasmus, unable to move Skip Schumacher. The sleight of hand that I'm interested in, that little glove waggle that he does upon approach to the plate.
Yeah, well, he does that. He tries to, and isn't that what a magician does? Now, I've never done it, but doesn't the magician try to get you to look at one certain hand while he's doing something, while he's grabbing your wallet with the other hand or something like that? Well, that's what Ryan Dempster does with his glove out of the windup, out of the stretch. He doesn't flip the glove at the hitter. It's only out of the windup. We'll get a shot of it as this game goes on.
Right now, though, we got to pay some attention to the guy at the plate. That is Mr. Pujols. And Dempster able to get a ground ball to short. We'll have plenty of time to wax poetic about Albert Pujols as the day goes on, but part of why Pujols has been doing what he's doing is the support he's been getting from the guy coming up now, Matt Holliday. And a bolt to right field to win it last night, 3-2.
Well, you called it a bolt. To the opposite field, about 390 feet on a line. Some kind of strong young man.
Oh, in the tradition of Will Clark 9 years ago, Larry Walker 5 years ago, this year's cavalry call going to Matt Holliday.
That's a good call. And the Cardinals have always done a great job of making just the right trade at the trade deadline, and this year, right in line with it, Matt Holliday, who's been even better than Pujols since arriving.
Which is saying something, because
goodness.
I mean, Pujols was on line for an MVP even before Holliday got here, right?
Oh, he's still going to get the MVP, but Matt Holliday has been the lightning now added to the thunder.
And as you glance at those numbers that we just showed you on the screen, I think the salient point there is that what he's done here in St. Louis, it's taken him 190 at-bats to basically replicate what he had in 350 at-bats in Oakland, power-wise.
Yeah, he just was stagnant out in Oakland, and when you talk to him about it, he said, well, you know, there just really wasn't any direction for the Oakland A's. They were going young, but yet then they had me and Jason Giambi, so it was just a stagnant mix that they had out there, but boy, not here.
Dempster gets a dribbler up to third. It's bobbled by Ramirez. And scored a hit for Matt Holliday to bring up Brian Ludwig.
That's just the way things go when you're red hot like Matt Holliday is. Even on a 3-1 pitch, you just dribble it out there. Do or die play there for Aramis Ramirez. He can't make the bare hand play. Don't know if he'd have been able to get him anyway. But an infield base hit, and now first and third here with 2 outs in the first for the Cardinals.
Oh, Dempster's a magic man, though, right? He can wiggle out of this. Little David Blaine, little Penn and/or Teller. And sure enough, slowly hit to short. And the magic man is off the mound. Aramis Ramirez, who just kicked that ball a moment ago, is coming up when we come back. There is no score on Fox. Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Budweiser, sponsored by Sprint. Get more done with Nextel Direct Connect only from the Now Network. By Taco Bell, think outside the bun. And by the all-new Taurus from Ford. Drive one. Both the starting pitchers needed only 11 pitches to get through the first inning. Chris Carpenter matched against Ryan Dempster today. And Aramis Ramirez. Boy, the Cubs could have used a healthy Aramis Ramirez all year, huh, Mark?
Now you see what he's done when healthy. He's been terrific. 59 RBIs in very limited action as that was tapped to third base.
That's what Chris Carpenter will get you to do. Tough to hit the ball for power against Chris Carpenter. For more on the starting pitcher for St. Louis, down to Ken Rosenthal.
Josh, you guys talked a little bit about the Cy Young race earlier. It's going to be difficult for Carpenter to overcome Tim Lincecum. Lincecum leads in ERA. strikeout rate, opponent's on-base slugging percentage. But let's say Carpenter wins his final 3 starts to finish 19-4. Let's say he gets his ERA below Lincecum's 2.30, then he would have a good shot. In fact, he probably would be the front runner here, guys, if he hadn't missed more than a month earlier this season due to that left strained ribcage muscle that he had. Right now, he's about 35 innings behind Lincecum. That's about the equivalent of 4 9-inning games, and that's going to cost him some first-place votes.
Hey, Kenny, we haven't mentioned Adam Wainwright. What do you think about him?
He's right there too, Gracie, and you're right. We should mention him. But to me, his stats, while very, very good, are just a tick behind Carpenter and a tick behind Lincecum. You can see it right there. The ERA is a little higher, and some of the other stats as well.
Micah Hoffpower in for the ailing Milton Bradley. Blasting away in right field, gets the base hit. We'll get you back to Ken Rosenthal throughout the afternoon, the 3rd member of our broadcast team.
Well, Micah Hoffpower can hit. And you see right there just a good, pretty left-handed swing. He got him a fastball in the middle of the plate he could handle. And he just drilled it past Albert Pujols into right field for a base hit.
You know, it's interesting. You guys were talking about Adam Wainwright. Obviously, he and Carpenter quite the 1-2 punch. If Wainwright gets it, what's funny about that, I think, Gracie, next year, if Wainwright finishes even among the top 5 in balloting, the last couple of years of his contract automatically vest, but that clause is not in there for this year. He could win the thing this year. It would have no bearing on his future in St. Louis. Next year, if he wins it, it's worth about $20 million. This year, he gets an attaboy.
Pat on the back and nice going.
Ground ball, second base. Schumacher scrambles. Remember, he turned a really neat-looking double play last inning. Unable to do so here, settling for the 1 out at first.
Well, early in the game here, Josh, Schumacher already showing huge range to his right for a double play ball in the first. Now look at the range to the left. Keeping it out of right field, keeping a first and third situation at bay, and he gets the out on the sprawling save to his left.
That's the guy who's been an outfielder until this year.
And if you talk to Tony La Russa, he just beams about Skip Schumacher and the job he's done at second base.
Cubs second baseman Jeff Baker, strike 1. Is that beaming right there for Tony?
That's about as much as you're going to see Tony beam during a game.
Cranked into right field. Ludwig sails back and makes the catch. Still no score in St. Louis. Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Budweiser. Reach for the perfect combination of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager. Mark DeRosa was a Cub. In fact, on this date last year, Gracie was having champagne poured over his head as the Cubs wrapped up the NL Central. Now he's a Cardinal, and the Cardinals are close to a champagne celebration themselves.
Well, he just finds a way to help teams win baseball games. He did it with the Cubs last year, and Cubs just didn't have room for him this year, so he found himself in Cleveland. And then eventually here as he pops it up, Derek Lee, first baseman, and a long line of terrific first basemen for the Chicago Cubs makes the play.
Why? Who else are you thinking of?
Well, I'm thinking of, Leon Durham, Hesop Choi. Those guys come to mind, certainly.
And somewhere in there is my partner, Mark Grace. Somewhere just below Hesop Choi. Now you were all, well, we got a graphic that will show America later. And a smiling Mark Grace. I mean, is there anything else besides a smiling Mark Grace? Lauding you for your offensive capabilities. And there's a base hit from Molina. The defense, though, son, the defense. I saw a stat about you, and it actually ties you in with the great Albert Pujols, too. Single season assists as a first baseman. Somewhere in between Bill Buckner and future Hall of Famer Albert Pujols.
180 of them. Well, that just means that instead of taking it myself, I just flipped it to the pitcher a lot. That's probably what that means, huh?
Did Sutcliffe and Maddox tell you, give me the ball? I mean,
well, Maddox, he was such a a cat on the mound. You know, the ground ball would be a one hopper, and you'd look up, he's already on first base waiting for the ball, so you might as well just flip it to him.
Brendan Ryan back in the lineup for the Cardinals. How can this guy not be a fan favorite? He's got the Ron Burgundy Anchorman mustache going.
How about it? I think you would look good in that mustache, Josh.
I would humbly disagree with that assessment, but he's got the socks pulled way up high. He's got the eye black on.
My kind of player right there.
Stopped at third. Once again, Ramirez got a glove on it, but cannot make the play. That happened to him last inning, too, when Holiday hit one that way. Once again, it scored a base hit.
Once again, Ramirez in for the possible bunt, a two-hopper, the in-between hop. He sprawls, knocks it down, but the good speed out of Brendan Ryan, no chance there. So Ramirez had a couple of tough plays. Neither of them go as errors, but they're plays that he'll tell you for the most part he'll make more than he doesn't. Chris Carpenter going to be more than likely to, he's going to be asked to bunt here with one out, try to move the runners up into scoring position, second and third for the leadoff hitter Skip Schumacher, who's already doubled this afternoon.
Carpenter, last time out, was shooting for a 12th win in a row, and instead he got clobbered. 6 2-out runs allowed in the third inning in that 9-2 loss to Atlanta. And the first loss for Carpenter, Gracie, since June. Dempster bounces it up there. And they've got...
Well, Molina's hurt.
Yeah, Molina came up limping, and now, though they get Ryan to second base, Yadier Molina hurt himself trying to get back to second base.
Well, what a terrible break this would be for the Cardinals. Well, it looks like Molina's starting to jog it off. He rolled his ankle, that right ankle. He rolled it, sure as the world. Cardinal fans, boy, you're sitting with a 10-game lead, and if you lose your frontline catcher, boy.
Well, you're looking at the good news, the fact that he hobbled off on his own power, and I'd suggest to you, Gracie, that with the division all but locked up now, I mean, even if he does have to sit out a few days,
that's quite all right. You just hope it's a twist.
That play goes 2 to 6 to 5, a caught stealing officially, and Carpenter now looking to put it in play. He's going to have a new catcher, it would appear, when he's back out on the mound. We'll return to St. Louis after a word from your local Fox station. Saturday baseball on Fox, presented by Budweiser. Budweiser, the great American lager. And Cardinal fans just let out a cheer after much consternation for a couple of minutes. Here is Yadier Molina staying in the game. He had rolled his ankle running the bases, limped off the field, but he's going to continue in this game with Chris Carpenter.
Well, a huge sigh of relief for Cardinal fans everywhere. You see him base run. Whoop! Well, he just got out over that right foot, twisted the ankle a little bit. It looked right there that, boy, that could have been dangerous, but he's all right. And he's a catcher. He's a tough kid. You know that, Josh. He's going to get out there and continue.
Molina's been such an important part of what the Cardinals have put together the last couple of years. Everybody knows about the defense, but suddenly he's become a force with the bat as well.
Exactly. He's the most well-rounded catcher in the National League. That ball's drilled into right field for a base hit.
That's Bobby Scales getting it done against Carpenter. And just as a quick aside, or I guess a reminder, what happened to Carpenter last time out, the third inning, everything just went up in smoke.
Collapsed on him. He gave up 6 runs, Josh, when 2 were out. And that's just unheard of for Chris Carpenter.
Most runs he had allowed in one inning since 1998, back when he was a 23-year-old pitching in a Toronto versus Texas game. The hot movie was Titanic last time that happened. There's the bunt that you figured was coming from Ryan Dempster.
Nicely done there by Dempster to get Scales into scoring position.
Gracie, time for a DirecTV game break. Take you to a suddenly hotly contested American League Central. And Miguel Cabrera will give the Tigers a 1-0 lead, but Joe Mauer answers. You talk about a catcher that can do it all, Joe Mauer.
Oh, what a player he's turned out to be, and a local kid at that. They're going to be looking forward to breaking in a new stadium in the Twin Cities, and I imagine Joe Mauer is going to be leading the charge.
Ryan Theriot, top of the order. If the Twins end up pushing forward and actually catching and passing the Tigers, yeah, that kind of throws the whole goodbye Metrodome thing into flux. Of course, the Vikings will still be there playing football on Fox, but Twins are set to head on out of there on October 4th. A wave and a miss by Theriot.
Well, that's the cut fastball from Chris Carpenter. He's got a fastball around low to mid 90s that he can run in on the right-handed hitters, and then he's got that cut fastball that's a little less as far as velocity goes, but it darts away from him. And there's another one for strike 2. Nice block there from Molina. And as a catcher, this is how you do it. You're not trying to come up with it clean, all you young catchers. You're just trying to keep it in front. Look at how he just covers the 5-hole, to use a hockey term, which is between the legs, and he just lets it hit the chest protector and just deadens it right in front of him. That's as perfectly as you can execute a block.
Ryan Theriot, who mostly has been taking pitches first couple times up. Count level up now 2-2. Hacked into the crowd. Another great crowd here in St. Louis.
You come to expect that, the sea of red here in Busch Stadium.
With the occasional flare-up of blue when the Cubs are in town.
Yeah, you'll hear the Cub fans, certainly. They'll drive the 5 hours down from Chicago.
Cardinal fans happy to make that drive north too. Got him. Couple of strikeouts now for Carpenter, and folks, next week Saturday baseball on Fox presented by Budweiser, Red Sox and Yankees, or the Cubs and the Giants. Coverage beginning at 4 Eastern, 3 Central. Check your local listings. It is possible the Cardinals could have everything locked down by then. And the Yankees looking to get things taken care of in that American League East. The Red Sox starting to play some good ball, though. Suddenly they're to within 5 in the loss column of the New York Yankees. So you don't necessarily just push the Red Sox to the wild card automatically here.
Well, the ALCS will be right here on Fox. A lot of people thinking it's back to the glory days of the late 90s and 2000 with the Yankees this year. They're just a cool 40 games over 500, something like that, huh, Josh?
One-time Yankee manager right there, Lou Piniella.
We had a good conversation with him this morning. Talked about everything but baseball, didn't we?
That's the way that Lou wanted it, too. The whole baseball thing, not going real well right now.
Look at this cut fastball this time. Darting in on Fukudome and just ate him alive.
On the ground, second base. Carpenter covers. Finds the bag, and that's the inning. Nice little pitcher's duel going. Carpenter and Dempster on Fox. Now the St. Louis Cardinals a 10-game lead on the Chicago Cubs. Scoreless game here in the bottom of the third in St. Louis today. And Mark, we were talking earlier about Ryan Dempster, and when there's nobody on, that little glove wiggle, that misdirection that he throws at you.
Let's take a look. There's one there, one there. and then the delivery.
Lou Piniella likes what he has seen from Ryan Dempster, one would assume. We asked Lou about that just moments ago.
Well, our pitching for the most part here this year has been pretty good. I've been pleased with our starting pitching. Basically, our bullpen, when I keep it a little rested and when they're all healthy, they pitch very representative too.
You got to be proud of what Derek Lee's done for you this year, aren't you?
No question. He started off slow. All of a sudden, he started to build. And I think this, from about the 1st of June on, he's as good a hitter as there is in this league, not only for power, but for RBI production and batting average. He's had a really, really, really good season. I'll tell you what, if everybody on your ball club was like Derek Lee, you wouldn't have a problem.
Lou, real quick, and I hate to end on a downer, but obviously not the season you guys were hoping to have. How do you finish up from here?
Well, we try to finish as good as we can, win as many games as we can. We've got a tough little schedule here on this road trip. We finish up our season at home, and hopefully we can finish above 500 and set up for next year.
All right, keep the faith, brother. Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
All right, nice seeing all you guys.
See you, Lou.
All right.
Let's bring in Ken Rosenthal real quick right before Albert Pujols comes up. And what of the future of Lou Piniella and these Cubs, Mr. Rosenthal?
Josh, Lou Piniella will be back. The question is, what is going to happen with the Cubs this offseason? They're going to be open to just about anything, whether it's trading Milton Bradley, trading Carlos Zambrano, whatever you can think of that might help this team. Their problem? They have more than $111 million committed to just 8 players.
Yikes.
So trying to sell off some of those parts, I guess, almost makes some sense, right? Milton Bradley, is he a commodity that you can sell right now?
Yes.
No, Alfonso Soriano probably not, right? At $18 million and coming off of surgery.
Probably not.
Is Milton Bradley just not a good fit in Chicago, Ken?
Worked out at all. Obviously, to trade a guy like Bradley, Josh, they're going to have to take a guy with an inflated contract in return. Zambrano is a little bit more complicated. Full no-trade clause, $54 million over the next 3 years. But given that the free agent market is relatively thin for starting pitching, perhaps they could convince a team, hey, this guy's 28, he's still incredibly talented, let's make something happen.
All right, Ken, thanks very much. And as the Cubs try to figure out what to do about some of their higher-priced players, this guy at the plate here for St. Louis, he's not going anywhere.
No. And that's ball 4 up and in.
Going to first base.
Yeah, and you know, there's anymore. You're rarely going to see, Josh, you know, guys that you would just call, you know, lifetime Cardinals or lifetime Cubs. You know, Albert Pujols, in my opinion, you know, unless something drastic happens, he's going to be a Cardinal his entire career. But I think the days of Derek Jeter and Chipper Jones, guys like that, the superstars that stay in one spot
Biggio,
for their
Bagwell.
Yes, I think those days are slowly but surely going to come to an end. Why, I don't know, but it just seems like that's just the way it is.
Holiday, a wave and a miss. Oh, he's a fairly good example. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a guy that had he stayed in Denver forever and ever, they would have probably made a statue at some point.
Sure, a guy that put up MVP type numbers every single year for the Colorado Rockies, yet he was moved. And, well, to the Rockies' credit, they're still playing awfully good baseball even without Matt Holliday.
Well, they sure are. Jim Tracy's done a great job.
Houston Street has turned into a terrific closer for the Rockies, along with utility outfielder Carlos Gonzalez. And then the good news for Matt Holliday is now he finds himself wearing the Cardinal red and going to win most likely going to win a Central Championship.
And with Holiday, it's not just protection for Pujols, as it's turned out. He's not just a watchdog. He can actually go fetch, too.
I like that.
The Cardinals are what, 36-14 since Holiday arrived as the backup barrage for Pujols.
And that's, if you can get number 5 to get pitched to, well, that's just going to make the Cardinals so tough in the postseason. Let's not forget Ryan Ludwig hitting behind Holiday's got 20 homers and 89 RBIs. So there is now some serious thump in this Cardinal lineup.
And Ludwig's just never been quite right physically this year, I guess.
Well, he hurt a hamstring and hurt it badly. And he's just been ginger with it. And that's the thing, when you tear a hamstring, Josh, you'll heal, but you physically heal more than or quicker than you mentally heal. Sometimes you just feel like, my goodness, can I really go full out today? Because man, there's a little bit of tightness in there, and you just work gingerly with it.
We were talking to Ludwig before the game, and he pretty much said as much, that you start to compensate with other parts of your body just to make sure that the hamstring doesn't blow out on you again. That ball tugged foul by Holiday.
Meeting on the mound, Giovanni Soto.
Well, that's another of the Cub disappointments this year, huh? Soto.
Either injuries and just didn't play well this year to Giovanni Soto, even when he was healthy. The numbers just haven't been there after a fabulous campaign last year.
And again, it's been just kind of get in line with that. Soto, Soriano, Bradley. Disappointing seasons. Cue shot on a busted bat.
What a pitch.
Wow.
Goodness.
Dempster is matching Carpenter at the end of 3. Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Budweiser, sponsored by Bank of America. Show the world it's not like, it's love. Get MLB banking only from Bank of America. By Zantac, heartburn, attack it, Zantac. And by Chevy. In the shadow of the arch here in St. Louis, the Cubs and the Cardinals play on Fox today. Josh Lewin along with Mark Grace and Ken Rosenthal. And Derek Lee taking inside. The 4th inning underway with Chris Carpenter apparently rounding right back into form here, Gracie, after a wobble in his last start.
Oh, a big mighty rip right there from Derek Lee. We talked with Lou Piniella about the season Derek Lee's having, and you know, if it weren't for the greatness of Albert Pujols, the other first baseman here this afternoon, Derek Lee would be getting a lot of talk about National League MVP. But it's been pretty much a one-horse race all season long.
But the guy with the most runs batted in and home runs since the start of July, though, is Derek Lee. Carpenter going for the outside corner, didn't get it. Velocity's fine, 96. Ground ball to short. A lot of ground ball outs so far. The Cub fans that are here hoping their team can get in gear. Our Bank of America fan cam. And the Cub fans always do seem to make their way down. If you want to show the world it's not like, it's love, get MLB banking only from Bank of America.
It's a great rivalry, Josh, and man, I was a part of it for 13 years.
Yes, you were.
And it is a rivalry, and it can get heated at times on the field, but in the stands it's pretty civil. It's amazingly civil and friendly. There's a lot of respect between Cub fans and Cardinal fans. Now, they don't like the other teams, but they respect each other's fans. You'll see here at Busch Stadium or up at Wrigley Field, after the game there'll be some local establishments where you'll see Cub fans and Cardinal fans sharing a libation, maybe even buying somebody a libation, as that one's drilled into center for a base hit. Aramis Ramirez.
Someone's briefed you on libations.
Well, it's just a 3-syllable word that I like to throw around once in a while. But it is friendly. You'll say, man, and they'll be talking about what just transpired in, the couple 3 hours previously. It's a good, clean rivalry in baseball, and it was fun to be a part of.
It's a very social rivalry. I'll give you that for sure.
Now, I'm sure there'll be some haymakers here in the stands sometime soon, but you don't see much of that.
Micah Hoffpower under the glove of a diving Schumacher, a base hit. Milton Bradley was supposed to be in the number 5 spot today. He was a late scratch. Hoffpower in instead. He's 2 for 2. Let's go down to Ken Rosenthal for more.
On Bradley earlier, and possibly him getting traded in the offseason. Now, the Cubs could better tolerate his erratic personality if he were producing. But look at the numbers. .205 batting average with runners in scoring position, just 40 RBIs on the season, and this is the whole issue. Bradley has always hit in his career, but it hasn't happened in Chicago. The scrutiny certainly seems to have gotten to him. He does not have a no-trade clause, but Gracie, he has effectively become a walking no-trade clause.
He's hit it right on the head, and you had him last year in Texas, Josh. He had a fabulous year as a member of the Texas Rangers.
Well, that OPS stat, which everybody looks at now, the on-base percentage plus slugging percentage, he led the American League in that. It was .999. And if it was even, I don't know, .777 as a Chicago Cub, I think everybody would be real happy. But Bradley's had a tough time staying healthy, tough time staying happy. Soto grounds it to third. 5-4-3. Double play. Chris Carpenter's out of the inning. Come back and chat with Tony La Russa with us on Fox. No runs, 4 hits, no errors both ways. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning, and Ryan Dempster looking for his 11th win of the year. Matched up today against Chris Carpenter, who's going for his 17th. Ludwig, DeRosa, and Molina for the Cardinals here on an overcast Saturday afternoon in St. Louis.
And we talked about Chris Carpenter and the cut fastball he's been throwing. Ryan Dempster's had an equally good one here this afternoon. You saw Ludwig swing and miss that one badly as he goes into the contortions with his glove. Same pitch, same result. Would you like that, Josh, when a pitcher flipping his glove at you like that? That would be distracting, wouldn't it?
So as a hitter, what do you do? I mean, obviously you're not supposed to be a part of any misdirection. You're supposed to be able to just zero in on the task at hand, but how easy is that to do?
Well, when I was facing Dempster, he didn't do that. He's only come up with that the last couple of years, but it's like a magician. He's trying to get you to look at something while something's going on in another spot. And the results have been awfully good ever since he's put a Chicago Cubs uniform on. He's been one of the best here, along with Carlos Zambrano.
Now, and not to be cynical about it, Gracie, but it's almost like organizationally, the Cubs are trying the same sleight of hand. Ballpark is great. There's a lot of personalities. Look at that, but the actual results obviously has not been what they wanted.
Well, obviously championships still nowhere to be found.
And since it's been 101 years now, the Cub fans obviously are ready.
Yeah, but as the great Jack Brickhouse said, anybody can have a bad century.
2-2 to Ludwig. And Dempster with the finishing touch. We promised to chat with Tony La Russa, a one-time Chicago Cub player, by the way, talking about his pitcher today, Chris Carpenter, who did not have a good one last time out, but looks okay today.
Well, last time, it was really atypical. He had 2 outs, nobody on. He had 2 strikes and about 2 or 3 guys, and his finishing pitch is one of the best. He just didn't make it, and you got to give them credit. But he's looking good today.
Did your heart skip a few beats when you saw Yadier Molina out on the bases?
There in any part of my body that didn't go the wrong way when that happened.
But he's okay?
Yeah, he felt a little twist in his knee, but you know, we asked him to be honest, and he's a very smart guy. He knows it's a stake, and he's good.
Tony, it seems like with the Cardinals now heading down the stretch, obviously there's enough seasoned guys around here. They don't need you to tell them about finishing with a high leg kick here, right?
Well, you know, it's really simple. If you take the lineup assignment, then you got to compete to the best of your ability. I mean, you don't want to get distracted if you're behind, you're ahead. That way you can maintain your edge. So we got a group of guys that are going to maintain their edge.
Sure seems that way. Tony, thank you. Continued success to you.
Thank you.
Good luck, Skip.
All right, thanks.
No way the Cardinals want to be on cruise control heading into the playoffs, as you said earlier, Gracie. Recently, the teams with runaway division leads have not performed well in October at all. I think the Angels were the best example last year.
Right.
They won that AL West by 21 games and got wiped out by Boston in 4 days.
Quickly. Good pitch there from Dempster right on the inside corner. That tied up DeRosa for strike 2. Now, I just don't think Tony La Russa, having competed against him for all these years, I just don't think that these Cardinals will go into cruise control. And I like what he said. He goes, when your name's in the lineup, you're expected to compete at the best of your ability, no matter how big or how small your lead is.
Called a third strike to Mark DeRosa. Wearing the pins today to support the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research, a Michael J. Fox Foundation dedicated to finding a cure for Parkinson's through an aggressive research program. To learn more, please visit michaeljfox.org. So Molina, we talked about the ankle earlier. He will not exactly bust it down the line here to make sure the ankle's okay. Dempster's been better than okay. Matched up 0 for 0 with Chris Carpenter. The bottom third of the Chicago Cub batting order, batting in the top of the 5th. It's going to be Jeff Baker to start up against Chris Carpenter, who was 16-4 for the year. And that includes 10-0 against the NL Central.
Well, that's how you build big leads in your division. Have guys like Chris Carpenter just go perfect against it. But don't tell that to Jeff Baker.
No. Pitch should have hung a little bit, and Baker with a base hit in the left center field. Let's bring back Ken Rosenthal.
Josh, we've seen Skip Schumacher today make a series of outstanding plays, turning a double play, knocking down a ball going to his left. Well, he is one of the Cardinals' great success stories this season. Here's a guy that they converted from an outfielder to a second baseman. He told me that during spring training, he could not sleep at night. The experience making that transition was just so overwhelming. He'd be riding his bike to the park in the morning, getting nervous just doing that. Well, slowly but surely, he came around. Initially, he feared embarrassing himself, feared that the pitchers would get down on him. But around the All-Star break is when he started finally feeling comfortable, and it was right around that time he told his wife, "I can do this."
Pretty amazing stuff. And he has done it, Josh. He has been terrific.
The second most famous alum from Aliso Niguel High School in California, right behind Borat. Sacha Baron Cohen, 12 years ahead of Schumacher, and not nearly the strike zone judgment. But, you know, you look at the Cardinals, and they have a series of, I guess, what you could call success stories. Guys that have been turned into a little bit more than you thought they might be. That's a great example right there.
A great example.
That one's inside to Bobby Scales.
Rick Ankiel went from one of the hottest pitchers in all of baseball to, well, one of the better hitting outfielders. Struggling a bit this year. Adam Wainwright came from the Braves, and he's turned into a star here in St. Louis.
Base hit Bobby Scales, the bottom of the order, coming through for the Cubs. Bobby Scales is 2 for 2. That's the guy that, boy, speaking of finding a way to achieve 1,000 games in the minor leagues before he got his shot.
Well, with Chris Carpenter, you don't get too many pitches in the middle of the plate, and when you do, you've got to take full advantage. And as you said, what a great story Bobby Scales in, and he just rifles his second base hit of the game into right field.
As Tony La Russa goes out there to chat it up with everybody. The catcher, Molina, all the infielders. So quick reminder, tomorrow on Fox NFL Sunday, our guys will tell you about the inspiration that's driving the Eagles defense this year. Plus, after a rough start against the Packers, can Jay Cutler bounce back for the Bears? It's all on the Ford Drive 1 Fox NFL Sunday pregame show tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. With some big matchups week 2 already. We'll see all the action on Fox tomorrow. Ryan Dempster in a bunting situation.
Whoa, goodness. So after a visit from Tony La Russa, there's a bow tie for Ryan Dempster.
Wow.
Goodness gracious.
Almost knocked the O in Chicago right off his chest.
That will get your attention.
Cornermen weigh in. And with the wheel play on, DeRosa gets 1. The Cardinals do not get 2. And Dempster's got to run the bases now.
Well, when you think about great teams, you have to have great defense. And boy, did the Cardinals show it here. DeRosa all in one motion. And then Ryan across the diamond just about got the double play. Look how quickly DeRosa gets rid of it. That got Jeff Baker at third. Boy, you think these guys don't want it? They got a 10-game lead in this division, and they're still playing all kinds of intensity out there. That's great to see.
Can I ask a silly question? Why is Dempster reaching back to steady his helmet as he's crossing first base? Just to make sure he doesn't get hit in the head?
Well, I just...
This ball blooped into right field. Ludwig coming on, and he's got it. That just seemed odd that he was all of a sudden real concerned about whether or not his helmet was staying on.
Well, we'll have to ask Ryan about that.
And again with the cornerman in, almost going through his pockets here.
Yeah, DeRosa just in the shorts right there at Dempster. Baker got a good jump. The Cardinals just played it way too well. And look at the aggressiveness in Ryan, throwing across the diamond, trying to get the second out. That's okay to reach after you've hit the bag. You can reach for your helmet, don't you think, Josh?
Well, I'm not hating. I'm just wondering. I say let it fly. I mean, you know, it makes it look like you're really hustling.
Remember Gary Matthews, Sarge?
Yep.
You know, that helmet was off the minute he made contact with the baseball.
One and one to Fukudome. The Cardinals and the Cubs in the 5th inning here, no score. Chop to first. And that is a foul ball. That'll be breaking news to the fans here who just wildly applauded it.
Well, let's take a look at what Todd Tishner, the first base umpire, saw as that ball's chopped.
Yep, foul ball. The second base umpire, by the way, a college teammate of yours, right?
Yes, Kerwin Danley. He's out there near second base. There he is.
San Diego State.
He's a good San Diego State Aztec. I call it the Harvard of the West.
Ooh, Carpenter trying to squeak it onto that outside edge. What kind of player was Kerwin Danley?
Kerwin was a terrific outfielder. He was an All-American, and somehow, some way, did not get drafted. And he was so determined to stay in baseball. He went down to Harry Wendelstedt's umpire school, graduated #1, and, well, I'll be a big leaguer umpiring if I can't do it as a baseball player, but he was a terrific player in college.
Mention Mark Carlson at the plate today. He's been doing a nice job.
Fukudome got a pitch in the middle of the plate. The only problem was it was at 97 miles an hour. He had a good rip at it, but he fouled it back.
That's as fast as Carpenter's tuned it up all day. The Cubs haven't had a man to third base since the 6th inning of the game last night.
Well, Scales and Dempster are going to be off on the pitch, a 3-2 count with 2 outs.
He walked him. Derek Lee is coming up. Oh, we mentioned the football tomorrow. Fox NFL Sunday, Drew Brees and the Saints on to Philly to take on the Eagles. Brett Favre leads the Vikings against the Lions. There's a lot of great action tomorrow. It all starts with America's #1 pregame show at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Check local listings for the game and start time in your area.
Well, these are the matchups you pay to see. Derek Lee and Chris Carpenter.
And it's Derek Lee hoisting it to center field. The Cubs no runs in their last 13 innings. Fox Saturday Baseball is presented by Budweiser. Reach for the perfect combination of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager. Talking a lot about the St. Louis Cardinals today as a matchup against their longtime rival Chicago Cubs. And Gracie, you brought up the point right out of the chute today about not easing up on the throttle. Since the wild card was added in 1995, wild card teams have won more World Series than teams who finished with the major's best record. And it always seems like some team that gets in there with 85 or 86 wins is able to make a lot of problems for teams that won 102, 103. And Tony La Russa, you know, his team's got a shot to, I don't know if they're going to win 102, but they could win 97, 98. They want to be playing deep into October.
Well, the 2006 team, that was probably the team that was really struggling the most going into the postseason. They went into the postseason reeling. Lost a bunch in a row. We're playing bad baseball. Tony was disgusted with the way things were going. Next thing you know, they're sweeping the Detroit Tigers in the World Series.
But you're right, they had a 7-game lead on this date, and it shrunk down to a half-a-game lead on the season's final weekend. Brendan Ryan takes a strike. I think 09 seems to be a bit different than 06 in this respect, at least. They're healthier, and their starting pitching has been unconscious.
You're right. Now, there's a lot of decisions that Tony's going to have to make. You know, the big three are going to be Carpenter, Wainwright, Pinheiro. But then, who do you go with after that? Do you go with Kyle Loesch, who's been terrific since coming over? And then you've also got John Smoltz in the mix. He threw another good ball game last night here.
Yeah, you bring up a great point. John Smoltz is definitely in the mix now. 6 strong innings yesterday, and obviously a battle-tested playoff guy to run on out there.
Right.
Loesch and Smoltz before the game working on their pass patterns.
Oh, it must be Saturday.
High drive left field by Ryan to the track. At the wall. Up and out. Over. And Scales put it out.
fastball in, and Brendan Ryan gets enough of it to send Bobby Scales all the way back, and he can't come up with it. Not only does he not come up with it, Josh, but out of the ballpark it goes. That's kind of the tale of the season for both these teams this year, Josh. You got to love the effort, but Brendan Ryan will certainly take it.
Brendan Ryan, who's been out of the lineup with a sore pinky, got just enough of it, and with a little bit of help from Bobby Scales. Now Carpenter on the ground to short. Scales the wall and out.
Can't believe it. You know, this kid's played over 1,000 games in the minor leagues. He gives you that kind of effort. But at the end of the day, it's 1-0 St. Louis.
Schumacher drills one right center. But Ryan Dempster was cruising along just fine, and he got that up and in treatment from Chris Carpenter. Then eventually had to run the bases. I don't know if any of that has anything to do with what's happened right now, but you got the run on the board and a solid base hit by Schumacher.
You know, anytime your pitcher runs the bases, you think about that. But you see right there, that's a play that Scales is going to make more often than not. You see he's just disgusted with the way things went. But yeah, that's part of what you have to think about as a manager in the National League when you've got a pitcher out there running the bases, running around on 3-2 counts. Will they be sharp when they have to go back out and take them out? And so far, the answer has been no for Ryan Dempster.
Well, the Cubs, of course, have had to use a lot of different left fielders, with Soriano done for the year. 6 different left fielders since Soriano's gone out. That ball jackhammered foul by Colby Rasmus. In a perfect world, Scales, if he's going to play, probably is not going to be playing left field in the first place. But I mean, obviously he's a great athlete. He'll go wherever. And a heck of a try on that ball, but off his glove, over the wall, and gone.
Well, it wasn't quite Canseco-esque. But the bottom line is he turned what would have been a double into a home run.
Jose famously had one hit him right in the head and bounced on out in Cleveland. And got laughed at by David Hulse from right field.
Well, I think that's worthy of that, don't you?
Hulse going, dude, that thing hit you right in the head. Jose's like, yeah, I know.
He was the epitome of DH, wasn't he?
But not MMA, as we have found out. Mixed martial arts.
I think he'll think again before he goes in the ring on that.
On the ground, second base. They get the one out there, and that's it. Rasmus reaching, bringing up Albert Pujols. The Hyundai in-game box score for the Cardinals, introducing the all-new 306 horsepower rear-wheel drive Hyundai Genesis Coupe.
The one blemish there, home run number 3 on the year from Brendan Ryan.
Well, the double play combination of Ryan and Schumacher, 4 for 5 in this game. Nine straight seasons now of the 300 batting average, of 30 homers and 100 runs batted in for Pujols. Only Lou Gehrig has ever done all that. And a guy that probably combines power and grace better than anybody else in the sport.
Pretty amazing when you talk about You know, the finesse that he has. He's a Gold Glove caliber defender. He can steal you a base every now and then. He runs the bases as good as anybody in the game. He doesn't have the greatest speed, but he runs them wisely.
Close. Very close.
Rasmus was leaning. Dempster almost got him. Watch the jabs. Whoa, I better get back. Quick tag there from Lee, but he got back in safely. You don't have to be a fast base runner, Josh, to be a good base runner, to know when to take an extra base.
Derek Lee, same story for the Cubs. Big guy that runs pretty well when asked to. And you will not find two better gentlemen in the game than these two first basemen here today, Derek Lee and Albert Pujols.
Well, that's very well said. Very humble superstars.
Yeah, Derek Lee, just big and polite. You're right, a gentle giant. He's got the voice of the guy doing the nightly network news. You got a guy like that in Arizona, Tony Clark, kind of like that too.
Very true. That very deep, almost Barry White type voice.
And another of the great gentlemen in the game. And you've probably heard about Pujols too. I mean, obviously an all-star off the field as well. Spends his winters working for the outreach program that he and his wife created, helping families with Down syndrome, giving aid to those in need in his native Dominican Republic. And he's not just some figurehead who slaps his name on a foundation and tells others to do the work. I mean, he's right in there. Dempster missing to a guy who's already walked 107 times this year. That's the most in the National League.
Yeah, Ryan Dempster's no fool. He understands that if I make a pitch in the middle of the plate, this guy's going to lose it. So if he's going to swing, he's going to have to swing at something either on a corner or just off of it. I'm going to come back inside on 3-1.
High chopper, third base. And that's the inning. But the Brendan Ryan home run off the glove of Bobby Scales has made it 1-0 St. Louis at the end of 5. Today's game presented by Budweiser, sponsored by DirecTV. Follow your favorite team no matter where you live with NFL Sunday Ticket on DirecTV. By KFC, now get the great taste of new Kentucky grilled chicken on the KFC Ultimate Value menu. And by Sears, Sears, life well spent. To the 6th inning. And Chris Carpenter, who a couple starts ago had a one-hit shutout and then had his hat handed to him last time. Well, he is right back to where he was a couple starts ago, leading 1-0. That one moving in on Aramis Ramirez. Off the end of the bat and towards right it goes for Ryan Ludwig. We go to Ken Rosenthal.
Josh, we talked earlier about Brendan Ryan's sore pinky. Not only has it caused him physical discomfort, but it's also caused him emotional trauma. Because of that pinky, he is unable to use the glove that he has used ever since his first professional season in 2004. It's this old ratty looking thing that he just loves. Even when it had a tear in it earlier this season, you saw it there. He kept going to it. But now, because of that pinky, he has to use his backup glove, and he's not all that happy about it.
I think that older glove that you showed there, Kenny, more personifies what Ryan's all about. That ball popped to DeRosa. You know how they say dog owners kind of start to look like their dogs and vice versa?
Oh, he's starting to look like his glove, isn't he?
Now, how long did you stay with a glove over the years?
I usually went through one a year. One a year.
So you weren't attached to one to the point where you had to go Brendan Ryan?
No, not at all. But if you know Brendan the way we know Brendan, you know, it's not surprising at all that he might be a little bit emotionally distraught about that. He is certainly a personality. He's a lot of fun to be around.
One strike pitch to Soto. Make it 1-1. Carpenter will probably be more fun to be around after this one than after his last start, that one where he was knocked out in the third. He said it was just one of those days. Location was off, everything just a little off.
Yes.
Not today. Got a speeding ticket to the ballpark on his way in that game where he got roughed up.
Well, there you have it.
No issues today, I don't think. 1-0. Today's Flomax replay, and Mark Grace, a big-time scare for Cardinal fans when Yadier Molina turned an ankle.
Turned an ankle. Looked like he may have twisted the knee as well, but all's well that ends well. It ended up being an out. Unfortunately for Cardinal fans and Yadier Molina, that's all it was, just an out on the base paths, not out on the disabled list.
Matt Holliday is told he did not swing at that one. It's 1-0 to him as the bottom of the sixth begins. Cardinals leading on a home run, not by Pujols, not by Holliday, not by Ludwig, but by Brendan Ryan. Holliday, as we've talked about, coming over from the Oakland A's. Years ago, Mark McGwire, same deal, coming over from the Oakland A's. And the A's manager now, Bob Guerin, I thought put it really well about Holliday, Grace. He said he's just a complete player. If you were to diagram a player, offense, defense, base running, work ethic, body type, basically make like a Frankenstein baseball player, it's Holliday.
And you're not going to get any argument from anybody that knows him. He's a terrific kid, brought up in a baseball family. His father, a college coach and a very successful one at Oklahoma State.
Brother Josh, a hitting coach in college. No hitting there. He takes a called third strike, according to Mark Carlson. Dempster again has allowed just the home run to Ryan. Otherwise, he is right there with Chris Carpenter today.
Well, he just got a fastball right where he wants it. He's not going to complain about the location of the pitch. And Scales went all the way back, and what would have been a double is now a home run. And that has been the only scoring of the afternoon. Dempster and Carpenter locked up in something we expected, a pitcher's duel.
Yeah, a lot of times you build those and you get like a 9-6 game.
Exactly.
You know?
You get those up at Wrigley Field when the wind's blowing out. Next thing you know, both starters are out of there after 3 or 4 innings, and you got a slugfest.
So far, very tame here in St. Louis today. The Cubs' last 10 hits back to yesterday, Gracie, have all been singles. And Dempster,
change up right there.
I'm going to say the off-speed stuff's been real good.
Well, can't hit the first one. Here, try this next one.
Ryan Dempster. As we check the replay on that strikeout pitch, we'll send you down to Ken Rosenthal for more on the Chicago starter.
Josh, earlier this season, Ryan Dempster was struggling. I asked someone with the Cubs, hey, what is going on with Dempster? And he said, listen, it's something we can't talk about, but there's something going on off the field. Turns out that Dempster's daughter, Riley, was born April 1st with a rare condition known as DeGeorge syndrome. Basically, that syndrome affects her ability to swallow. And while Dempster would never make excuses, it's clear that it was taking a toll on him. Riley underwent a series of procedures, and only now is she starting to stabilize, though it's still a daily fight. So basically, we've seen Dempster now on a roll for the last few weeks, and perhaps now things are just starting to get a little bit easier at home.
Well, and
good stuff.
true to the character of Ryan Dempster, I mean, that's impressive that he, doesn't even want to, A, make excuses, or B, put that out there for everybody else to deal with.
Exactly, but until you walk a mile in somebody's shoes that's going through that, well, you just can't say enough, and you can't help but root for him.
Now he's able to create some awareness about the disease by going public with it. Two-strike pitch to DeRosa, former teammate, of course, of Ryan Dempster's. And there was a story in the Chicago papers today, Gracie, that as people are wondering what becomes of Mark DeRosa for 2010, it's not out of the realm. If the Cubs wanted to extend an offer.
How about that inning for Ryan Dempster?
Facing some good hitters, too. We'll return after a word from your local Fox station. Chris Carpenter shutting out the Cubs. Let's check the Hyundai in-game box score for Chicago. Introducing the all-new 306 horsepower rear-wheel drive Hyundai Genesis Coupe. A couple of hits for Hoffpower, who was not initially in the starting lineup. And Jeff Baker right away, ground ball to short. Chris Carpenter, again, working very quickly, throwing a lot of strikes. Cardinals getting close to securing a trip to the postseason. You can catch all the action of the 2009 MLB postseason on Fox and on TBS. The excitement begins October 7th with the division series. The magic number for the Cardinals, if they win today, would be 4 to clinch the NL Central.
As you're trying to go deeper and deeper into the ball game, if you're Chris Carpenter, nothing better than one pitch, one out, and that's what he got to start the inning off the bat of Jeff Baker.
Well, here's a guy that would love to give the Cubs a big swing right here, get him right back even. Bobby Scales had the ball go off his glove and over the wall in the bottom of the 5th inning. Thing is, it's tough to elevate against Chris Carpenter, as he's now faced 250 batters since his last home run allowed.
Really now?
Really.
Well, when you throw up to 97 miles an hour and you've got the great sink, I guess it stands to reason. And then you throw that breaking ball there. He just missed with it. 2-2.
You think I'd just make that stuff up?
Well, I mean, I expect that.
All right, it's been his last 5,000 batters then.
Look at the breaking ball again there. Scales just able to nick it foul. Scales has gotten a couple of base hits off of Carpenter this afternoon, Josh, and it's both been off fastballs. So like the champion the Carpenter is here. Let's see if you can hit this breaking ball. Oh, what a pitch.
Yeah, he just takes the heat, and down he goes.
Well, you get him thinking breaking ball, and then all of a sudden you decide to just buzz one right to the inside corner and ring it up again. Mark Carlson. Oh, what a pitch. Nothing you can do there.
Ryan Dempster allowed to swing here, and for his trouble, he breaks his bat.
And while Ryan Dempster goes and gets himself some more lumber, we were talking to Ryan before the game today, Josh, and I think it's time for us to wish a happy birthday to his father-in-law, Paul Powers, who is 69 years old today. And Ryan wanted us to say happy birthday to his father-in-law. You got to make the father-in-law happy, Josh. You know that.
And Dempster serving one into shallow center field. That's the best he can do for a gift. Brendan Ryan gifted a home run earlier. The Cardinals leading 1-0. Today's game presented by Budweiser, sponsored by One A Day Men's, the official multivitamin of MLB, specially formulated for men. By Pepsi. Pepsi's the official soft drink of Major League Baseball. And by Hyundai Assurance, a little certainty in uncertain times. Molina leads it off in the bottom of the 7th. You know, the Cubs have only won 3 times all year when trailing after 6. This does not bode well for them, though it is just a 1-0 game. Even the Pirates have won 5 times this year when trailing after 6. The Cardinals very close to getting that spot in the postseason. Got a 10-game lead on these Cubs. They're a lot closer than the Dodgers are right now in terms of wrapping up the NL West. But if the season were to end today and the Cardinals and Dodgers were to square off, now for what it's worth, the Cardinals took most of the games in the regular season series.
But if it was today, the Dodgers would get the home field advantage. Is that correct, Josh?
With 2 extra wins, that's right. We'll try to break down some potential matchups for you here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Of course, a lot could change. But Pujols against Manny Ramirez would be a marquee matchup.
That'd be a lot of fun, wouldn't it?
Ken Rosenthal, what do you see if it's Cardinals and Dodgers?
The problem for the Cardinals in that series, Josh, is that the Dodgers would probably start Randy Wolf and Clayton Kershaw in games 1 and 2. Back-to-back left-handers. Now that, of course, assumes that Kershaw will be healthy coming off that dislocated non-throwing shoulder. But surprisingly enough, the Cardinals, despite having some great right-handed power, Pujols, Holiday, Ryan Ludwig, Mark DeRosa, they don't hit lefties very well at all. In fact, they have the lowest batting average against lefties in the National League, 4th lowest on-base percentage, lowest slugging percentage. So that would be an issue against the Dodgers.
Molina with a base hit, bringing up the home run and hitting it, Brendan Ryan. All right, well, let me ask you this, Kenny, because I guess the other matchup would be, and again, this is all very liquid, it could change, but it would be the Rockies and the Phillies. And how are you looking at that one?
Obviously there, Josh, you have the red-hot Rockies, and that is a really interesting matchup. But again, the Phillies' left-handed pitching will be very much in focus. Cliff Lee, Cole Hamels. The question will be in this series, the 2 bullpens. The Phillies are unsettled right now with Lidge, Matson. Who is the closer? The Rockies, too, with Houston Street coming back now, getting a little more settled, but not quite there.
4-6-3 DP. Yadier Molina just ducked and covered. Remember, he's got that tender ankle. Running the bases earlier in this game. He slipped around second base. He'll just drop right here.
Yeah. Didn't really have his heart into taking him out there, did he? Well, Ryan Dempster just continues to shine. Another guy that you have to think about. Kenny mentioned Cliff Lee and Cole Hamels. Jay Happ, the rookie for the Philadelphia Phillies, having a terrific campaign this year. A lot of people think he may be Rookie of the Year this year, Josh.
Yeah, he's been some kind of find, no doubt.
Pedro Martinez.
There's Carpenter. The pitcher gets it done, and Scales overruns it. Takes a tumble. Because it's Carpenter, he's just going to cruise into second base. That's a double all the way. And poor Bobby Scales having some time out there in left field.
Well, he gets a breaking ball. And he just flips it off the end of the bat. Scales was playing him to the opposite field, and then he slipped. Then he kind of looked like a fish that just got hauled into the boat. Watch out. Come on, Bobby. Hang in there. Oh, boy, that looked like he may have done something to the ankle. And Chris Carpenter, that's full speed there. So Bobby Scales had trouble with that one as well.
Nobody in the bullpen. Lou Piniella out just to give Dempster a breather here. And while we've got a chance, Grace, we were talking about potential National League matchups. How about American League? Again, right now, the Yankees and Tigers, a rematch of the division series in 2006 that the Tigers won. And Ken Rosenthal, what are your thoughts on a Yankees-Tigers?
If it were the Tigers, Josh, you would give them a puncher's chance simply because of Justin Verlander. Cy Young candidate, a guy who can really turn the momentum of the series.
Boy, Bobby Scales has to go get another one. Whoa! He got it. We'll get back to more potential playoff activity in just a moment, too. We're at the end of 7. Cardinals by 1. Saturday Baseball on Fox presented by Budweiser. Budweiser, the great American lager. There was a great right-handed pitcher on the mound for the Cardinals today, a guy that's in the Cy Young conversation, Chris Carpenter. And a 6-hit shutout as he deals to Ryan Theriot leading off the 8th inning.
Nice. Maybe firing a shot over the bow to Tim Lincecum out on the West Coast. By the way, I'm not going away yet.
Lincecum has more strikeouts. Has had a wonderful year. Carpenter, with a win today, can get to 17-4. Theriot chips one to right field. That is foul. Time now to bring the heat, presented by Taco Bell. Taco Bell shows you Ryan Dempster and Chris Carpenter and how it's gone today. Carpenter getting it up as high as 97.
Well, they have been fabulous, both of them. We expected a pitcher's duel. Boy, this has not disappointed. 6 more outs for Chris Carpenter and the Cardinals to move one game closer to pay dirt here in the division.
Into right center, a base hit for Theriot. Got the most singles of any player in the National League, and that one gives the Cubs a shot here in the 8th inning. The tying man is on, bringing up Fukudome.
Well, just a beautiful piece of hitting there by Ryan Theriot. Takes the breaking ball, it's down and away, and just pokes it the other way. Didn't try to do too much with it. If you're Chris Carpenter, you're thinking, man, that was a good pitch.
Been getting ground balls so all day, Grace. You're right to get one here from Fukudome, turn 2, and you relax a little bit.
And when you're sitting on a 1-run lead, every pitch is huge. Both Dempster and Carpenter. Every pitch they've thrown today has just been high intensity. There's been 0 time to relax in this ball game for either pitcher.
Rammed in right field and caught by Ludwig. Derek Lee about to come up. And real quick, Gracie, we were talking about potential playoff matchups. I want to bring Ken Rosenthal back about a potential Yankees-Tigers. Although, Ken, I guess that the Tigers, obviously not a done deal yet. The Twins are hot on their heels.
Not at all a done deal. And the real question in this series, whoever the Yankees play, would be the state of the Yankees rotation. Andy Pettitte pitches again on Monday. He's had that tired shoulder, and if he is an issue, then the Yankees' dominance here is not perhaps as great as we might think. A.J. Burnett pitched well last night, but has been very inconsistent of late. And while you wouldn't expect the Yankees to lose to either the Twins or the Tigers, their rotation could become more of an issue as this goes on.
In the meantime, the Twins right there with the Tigers. We'll try to update you on that game as we go forward here.
Well, Ken mentioned Justin Verlander, the star right-hander for the Detroit Tigers. Don't forget about the year that Edwin Jackson's had for the Detroit Tigers. He's been terrific as well.
Tigers lead today 2-1 in the 7th in Minnesota. As Derek Lee fouls one. And Gracie, I got one for you.
Okay.
If the Twins finish in a tie for first in the Central, and they've got to host a one-game playoff with the Tigers, in theory that takes place at the Metrodome October 5th. That's the same night Mr. Favre and the Vikings are scheduled to host the Green Bay Packers.
Really now?
How do they play 2 games at once?
One will have to be a day game. Start one at about 10 in the morning. And
oh, Carpenter thought he had it. Mark Carlson says no.
well, let's see what you think at home. As a former hitter, oh, that's way outside.
Lee strokes it in a left to base hit. He's been about a .370 hitter the last 5 weeks. And he's got the Cubs in business here. 2 on, 1 out for Ramirez.
Well, you get a 3-1 count, and you get a fastball right down the middle, and that's what Derek Lee got. He took a Andre Dawson type rip at it, and he hit it hard, but I think Carpenter very fortunate that the way Derek Lee has been going, I think he's fortunate that one didn't leave the ballpark. Dave Duncan, the terrific pitching coach for many, many years here, going to go out and talk to his star right-hander.
Mott and Miller in the bullpen for St. Louis, and it will be Carpenter to continue for now. All right, one last potential series to preview, too, to bring back Ken Rosenthal. Could it be Red Sox and Angels again? We're getting really used to that one. Ken, what do you think?
Absolutely, it's headed that way. And we saw a preview this week at Fenway Park, Josh. A great, emotional, close series. And frankly, it would probably be that way again if they met in the division series. The question for the Angels is their bullpen. Last week, Josh, the game we did, if you remember, tie score in the 10th inning. They removed their closer, Brian Fuentes, for Kevin Jepsen. Fuentes has a ton of saves, 40 plus, but he is not Jonathan Papelbon. He is not Mariano Rivera. From the Red Sox perspective, certainly their rotation has come together. Matsuzaka now emerging as a possible number 4 starter. They have a tremendous bullpen, and they're playing the best of any team right now.
So that's your whip around to the potential postseason, much of which you'll see right here on Fox. 2 strikes to count to Ramirez. And the tying man at second for Chicago.
Look at the cut fastball there and just missed outside. That's a good 0-2 pitch, though. Good patience there from Ramirez to lay off the tough one 0-2.
Fastball down 2-2 the count. Carpenter's at 99 pitches.
Just able to nick it foul. Looked like that got the right forearm of Yadier Molina having a rough night or afternoon. Oh, inner thigh. Goodness.
Every hit a single against Carpenter.
Let's see what Molina wants.
Bouncing ball. That's what the Cardinals fans wanted. 6-4-3 double play.
I'm thinking maybe Cy Young for that man.
Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Budweiser, sponsored by Holiday Inn, official partner of Major League Baseball road trips. By Burger King, who reminds you to have it your way. And by EAS, don't waste your workout. Finish it with EAS Smileplex. A 1-0 game. Ryan Dempster's had 2 career complete game losses, 8-inning complete game losses, both of them with the Marlins back in 2002. And he's staring down the barrel here of that possibility. 1-0 St. Louis on a Brendan Ryan home run.
Back-to-back change-ups here from Ryan Dempster, trying to keep his team right there. One more fighting chance in the 9th inning. Well, he has been brilliant. Just the scratch home run, if you will. That's all it's been.
Cardinals and Cubs play all these games against each other every year, Gracie. There's been only one 1-0 game in the last 14 years.
No kidding.
And the Cards won that one. That was in 2004. Again, we came on the air hyping the pitchers duel, Carpenter and Dempster. Not that we were going out on a limb, but as advertised today, 1-0. And as the Cardinals search for some breathing room, after Rasmus, it's Pujols and Holiday.
Now, if they're going to extend the lead, those are the guys certainly you want to do it. But boy, has Ryan Dempster answered anything that the Cardinals have brought his way here this afternoon. He's been fabulous. And it continues.
Six strikeouts as we check the game-changing play brought to you by Holiday Inn. Signs of change are everywhere. And the home run we've been talking about off the glove of Bobby Scales.
It's in the glove. I mean, it is deep in the glove. Then he hit the wall and out it popped. Long ball.
Pujols rolls it foul.
We talked about, Josh, in order for Dempster to be successful, he's got to have his control or there would be chaos. Well, one walk, and that was to this man, Albert Pujols. Back in the 3rd inning. He's had complete command of everything.
We saw Franklin in the Cardinal bullpen. Marmol has gotten up in the Cubs bullpen. Very manageable pitch count. 95 pitches right now. Ramirez from 3rd, across to lead. We're talking about Carlos Marmol. He shows up on this list. Our Just for Men hair color holds leaders. Just as these pitchers keep their team in the game, you too can stay in the game. That's with Just for Men hair color.
Well, Marmol is 1 out away from staying right there at 27.
Well, Holiday looking to provide that insurance. Nothing hurts more, I would imagine, than pitching this well and losing 1-0.
That's got to kill you. That's the thing. Ryan Dempster's such a professional. He won't complain. He realizes that he's going up against Chris Carpenter and that runs will be at a premium. That's a beautiful changeup. Holiday way out in front of it.
Dempster in with that ERA of 3.45. Carpenter, though, at 2.45. 1 run better. That's exactly what we got here. 1 run better. And still a shot at an ERA title for Carpenter. Tim Lincecum's at 2.30. Carpenter probably will dip down to into the 2.3s if he keeps this intact, assuming it's Franklin on in the 9th. Holiday punching it to left, and Bobby Scales diving forward, a face plant. He got it.
Attaboy, Bobby.
And a very interesting afternoon for Bobby Scales. Now, the Cubs to the plate. They're down 1-0. One to nothing into the 9th in our Zantac relief pitcher profile. Hartburn, Attackett, Zantac, and Ryan Franklin, who had a little bit of a wobble not too long ago, but well, from all indications, maybe has steered out of that. He has saved 37 in 41 tries this year.
Yeah, he's been terrific. You see the ERA at 1.89. A week ago today, blew a save for the 2nd time in a row. Got the win here last night with a scoreless inning.
Micah Hoffpower to face him. And he bangs it right by Pujols into right field. The tying man is on, Chris Carpenter, looking for win number 17. And he's going to need Franklin to pitch a scoreless 9th.
Now the replay of first pitch breaking ball. Hoffpower blisters it past the sprawling Albert Pujols. And if you're the Chicago Cubs in a situation like this, Josh, you're thinking anybody but Chris Carpenter. I don't care if Ryan Franklin is an all-star. I don't care about his numbers. Anybody but Chris Carpenter.
Sam Fuld is going to pinch run here for Hoffpower, and Hoffpower, who only found out he was playing an hour before the game, ends up 3 for 4. Has a third of the Cubs' hits today. Giovanni Soto, with that batting average only .223 for the year. DeRosa in at third. No sign of the bunt, strike one. Into right center field, another base hit for Chicago. And the tying man scoots to third. And the wobble has reappeared for Franklin.
Well, when you throw pitches in the middle of the plate, you can see Molina wanted it in. He had to reach back over the middle of the plate. Soto drills it into right center. So now, if you're Ryan Franklin, we're going to get another pinch runner. This is former Cardinal Taguchi going to come in and run for Soto.
Boy, how about that? The potential go-ahead run. The former popular Cardinal Baker's going to be the batter. And it is Taguchi now at first.
And now if you're Ryan Franklin, you're thinking, man, I'd like to just keep this possibly a tie game. We got the winning run on first base with nobody out right now. Cardinals are going to give up the tie for a possible double play ball. Oh boy, Baker got a pitch right down the middle. Fouled it back. Those are the pitches you don't get very often against the talents of Ryan Franklin. I mean, this is center cut. Look at the head stay right on it, but he came up empty. So Franklin certainly got away with one there.
Bobby Scales on deck. Think he wants a shot?
Oh yeah, and then some.
Bouncing up there. Taguchi had to scramble on back to first.
Boy, a terrific play there. Again by Yadier Molina. This is a fastball that bounces. You're not anticipating fastballs being bounced. Somehow he took it off the mask. It stays right there, and Taguchi had to stay at first base. And more importantly, Fold had to stay at third.
Chris Carpenter was only at 101 pitches, but out he went after 8 innings. You got a guy who has saved 37 in 41 chances. You're
you like your
counting on him.
chances, sure. He's going to have to do a little sleight of hand a la Ryan Dempster to get out of this one unscathed.
Closer in this at bat anyway. 2-2 to Baker.
Yeah, that was the best pitch of the inning right there from Franklin. He really ran one in on the hands of Jeff Baker and tied him right up.
In the air to right field. Ludwig is ready. He's got it. But no play at home plate. We're tied. Carpenter will not win his 17th, and Dempster will not absorb the tough 1-0 loss.
Well, terrific at bat there. Once again, wanted a fastball in, didn't get it in there again, left it in the middle of the plate. That time Baker just swatted it over to the right side to tie the ball game up. So tough luck right there for Chris Carpenter. He's going to get a no decision. And now Dempster in the chase for a possible win.
And I know Milton Bradley wasn't healthy enough to start this game. But obviously he's not healthy enough to pinch hit apparently too, because Fontenot has come out on deck.
There's Mike Fontenot. You're right. Milton Bradley, a guy that you would probably expect to see on deck, but nothing doing. It's Fontenot.
Might have expected to see him for Baker. Scales looking for his 3rd hit. Jammed. Franklin's got it. To second, one on to first. Double play. And the Cards will look to win it in walk-off fashion. Bottom of the 9th coming up. Tie game. 1-1 on Fox. Pepsi, the official soft drink of Major League Baseball, will take you back to yesterday, congratulating Matt Holliday, yesterday's MLB Clutch Performer of the Game. Learn more about the MLB Clutch Performer of the Month award at PepsiClutch.com. That was the bottom of the 9th to win the game, a low-scoring game for the Cardinals against the Cubs. They'll have that exact same chance right here. Coy Hill in at catcher now. And changes in the outfield as well. Sam Fold will stay in the game. He's in center. That pushes Fukudome to right. Bobby Scales stays in left. Again, a baseball that hit him in the glove and bounced over the wall. That's how the Cardinals have their run today. And even though Bobby Scales has a couple of hits, boy, he had a chance to give the Cubs a lead there in the top of the 9th. Instead, he hit into the 4th Cubs double play of the game. Now Carlos Marmol. And taking over for Ryan Dempster.
Marmol, he of terrific stuff. Fastball in the mid-90s, one of the better sliders in the game.
Bouncing ball looking to drip up the middle. It does! A base hit for Ludwig.
Well, Marmol has a terrific slider, but he leaves this one in the middle of the plate, belt high. You don't have to hit it hard when you hit it in the right spot, and that's exactly what Ludwig did. And a leadoff base runner here for the Cardinals to stop the bottom of the 9th.
The former Cub Mark DeRosa will be the batter.
Now it's decision time for Tony La Russa. Do you want to have Mark DeRosa bunt, or do you want him swinging away? Tough righty out there on the mound. I would imagine the bunt's in order, Josh.
Showing the bunt and fouling it back. DeRosa, who says he's embarrassed how he's played here in St. Louis. He's only hitting around $170 in this ballpark. Now, he's been doing that with a wrist that's going to need some surgery at the end of the year. He's not making excuses, but he loves the passion of the Cardinal fans, loves being a part of the rivalry from this side, but wants to produce.
He wants to produce and do a little better in front of the home folks.
Back to Marmol. DeRosa is safe. And Molina will have a chance now. While we have a chance, a DirecTV game break taking to the Dodgers and the Giants. And a Ronnie Belliard grand slam in what has become a rout. Well, a two-out grand slam. And the Dodgers have just kept rolling from there. It is 10-1. The Giants making their late push. Hitting a speed bump today.
Yeah, big speed bump. Former Dodger Brad Penny taking a beating back in Dodger Stadium this afternoon.
Now, Yadier Molina, 3 for 5 lifetime against Marmol, and it's not easy to have a .600 batting average against this guy.
Rare back threw a fastball right by Molina, one of the tougher players in all of baseball to strike out.
Yep, year in, year out, that is the case. That ball just disappeared on Molina. DeRosa goes, and a ground ball base hit. DeRosa turns it around, goes to third.
Leave it to Tony La Russa to realize the situation. He's got a guy that doesn't strike out. Put the hit and run on with 2 strikes on Molina, knowing you're going to get contact. DeRosa peeking in. Even though it's a base hit to left, he never stops. On into third base he goes. Tony La Russa gambles, and once again, Tony La Russa shows why he's a future Hall of Famer.
With 2 strikes against Marmol the last 2 years, opponents had been hitting .069.
Amazing. Well, now you have to think possible squeeze play here, Josh.
Well, Ryan has already hit one out. Now if he lays one down, you're right, Cardinals win. No swing. Trying to carve that magic number to 4 are the Cardinals right here in a game that's 1 run, 10 hits, no errors for both teams.
Coy Hill going to go out to the mound and have a talk with his right-hander. This is no time for guesswork. Hey, what do you want to throw here?
strike on the inside corner.
Well, a heck of a fastball there, right to the inside corner from Marmol. Ryan thought it was inside. Tough pitch to do anything with.
Strike two.
Fastball right there again on the inside corner. Ryan asking again, "Are you sure that's not inside?" And the answer is no. That's a beauty right on the inside corner. Also remember, Josh, Ryan runs very well. He's going to be tough to double up. It's going to have to be an awfully hard hit ground ball to turn the double play.
Well, Yadier Molina, just as pointed out too, sore ankle. That burly catcher running at first. That's yanked foul.
I mean, that ball would have hit Ryan in the chest if he didn't make contact with it. Watch this ball really run up and in on Ryan. I don't know how he got the barrel of the bat to that one. Crowd going bananas. Ooh, that time he got a hanging breaking ball. That one didn't do anything for Marmol.
Pressure's a bit on the catcher Coy Hill now too. Marmol has bounced 6 wild pitches this year. One of those ends the game.
And Coy Hill's been on the bench all day. Giovanni Soto was the starter, so he's still cold.
Base hit, Cardinals win. Once again, you're not supposed to be able to get a 2-strike hit against Carlos Marmol. The Cardinals did it twice. Molina, then Ryan, and it's a 2-1 final. A lot of things you're not supposed to be able to do, the Cardinals are doing in 2009.
Well, once again, he got a breaking ball that just didn't do anything, and he swats it into left field. And you expect Albert Pujols or Matt Holliday to be the offensive hero. Not today. Brendan Ryan providing all the offense the Cardinals would need. Chris Carpenter was fabulous, and this team in St. Louis is fabulous.
Forget about the bruised pinky. Gonna have some sore ribs now. Brendan Ryan is standing by with our Ken Rosenthal.
Brendan, it seemed like it took a little bit of a beating out there. What was it like?
Yeah, that's your congratulations. A right cross. Wow, right cross to the mouth. I don't know. Glad I didn't lose a tooth, but it was worth it.
First walk-off game-winning hit in your career.
Yeah.
First and third, 1 out against Marmol. How difficult a situation is that for you to hit?
Marmol is as tough as they get. Just trying to get a piece. Painted 2 pitches in. Nothing I could do with that. I just tried to battle, and fortunately snuck that ball through.
Your home run didn't exactly go to the third deck. How hard a time did you get on the bench about that one?
Oh, I don't hit any in Big Mac land. That's never going to happen. So if I do, it's going to be a wall scraper. That time I think I got an assist. So whatever, it counts, and I'll take it.
Brendan, last thing. As well as Carpenter pitched today, how difficult would it have been to lose this game?
Oh, it's a tough one. I mean, you know, it's your rivalry here, and they always want to beat the Cubs, but you got to feel for Carp a little bit. I mean, Frankie's working his tail off, and they put some good swings on his pitches. So that's baseball, but we battled and we came out on top, thank God.
Brendan, congratulations. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Josh, back to you.
All right, Ken, thank you very much. Matt Holliday last night, and that was a home run. Brendan Ryan this afternoon. A ground ball into left field to give the Cardinals an 11-game lead. Their magic number is down to 4. 2-1 the final. The Cardinals' last hit, their 11th of the game, makes a hero of Brendan Ryan. He ended up with 3 hits in the ball game. And again, the Cardinals making a habit out of winning games late. Holliday yesterday. That was a 3-2 final, and then what you just saw on Fox here today, one of the toughest guys in the league, Carlos Marmol, gave it up. 2-1 is the final today, and we'll return to St. Louis for more post-game coverage right after these messages. The Cardinals win it in a walk-off 2-1 against the Chicago Cubs today. And Mark Grace, it was a big day for Brendan Ryan, as it turned out.
Yeah, Brendan Ryan was the entire St. Louis offense. He hit a long ball with a little bit of an assist from Mr. Scales out in left field. But when this team needed it most, and that was in the bottom of the ninth, he got the big base hit to walk off the Chicago Cubs and move a little bit closer to that division title.
In the meantime, Chris Carpenter did not get a win, and that's too bad. He was denied number 17, but boy, he pitched well again.
Yeah, he certainly staked his claim once again as being a guy that's got to be mentioned for the Cy Young Award. I still think he's the front runner. He had a great assortment of fastballs and breaking balls. He had the Cubs tied in knots, and if they weren't tied in knots, they were hitting into double plays. 4 of them here this afternoon.
Well, the Cardinals, who had a 20-6 August, got out to kind of a stumble at the start of September, but now things seem to be normalized again. They've had an 11-game lead on Chicago, and they're going to win this division.
Yeah, and when you can run starters like Adam Wainwright, Chris Carpenter, Joel Pinheiro, you're not going to go into long losing streaks, Josh. You might lose a couple here, a couple there, but you're going to come back and you're going to put streaks together. Chris Carpenter, once again, was fabulous today, and I'm sure these Cardinals are going to follow his lead and move on quickly to the division title.
Great working with you, buddy.
As always, it was a pleasure.
2-1 Cardinals over the Cubs is your final. And a quick reminder that tonight on Fox, you can catch Cops and America's Most Wanted starting at 8 o'clock Central Time. Tomorrow, Fox has single-header action of NFL Week 2. Check local listings for the game in your area. Coverage beginning at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Some nice matchups for you. Next week on Fox Saturday Baseball, either the Red Sox and Yankees or the Cubs and the Giants. Coverage begins at 4 Eastern, and we do invite you to check your local listings. Promotional consideration provided by For more information on today's game and the latest in Major League Baseball news, log on to foxsports.com, powered by MSN, the world's favorite sports site. Cardinals 2, Cubs 1. For Mark Grace and Ken Rosenthal, Josh Lewin saying thank you very much for being with us. So long from St. Louis. You've been watching Fox Sports, home of the 2009 ALCS and World Series.